What if Leonardo da Vinci's masterpieces hold a secret that has remained hidden for centuries? And what if this secret originates not from Earth, but from the stars specifically, the Pleiades star cluster? Could it be that within his art, Da Vinci encoded a message so profound it could unlock humanity's next stage of evolution? For centuries, the world has marveled at Leonardo da Vinci, the quintessential Renaissance man. He was a master painter, sculptor, architect, scientist, inventor, anatomist, geologist, cartographer, botanist, and writer. His insatiable curiosity drove him to explore the depths of human knowledge and beyond. But beyond his artistic and scientific pursuits, Da Vinci harbored a deep fascination with hidden knowledge, symbolism, and the mysteries of the universe. His anatomical studies went beyond mere observation. He sought to understand the divine proportions of the human form, believing it held a key to unlocking universal truths. His notebooks are filled with sketches of inventions far ahead of his time, hinting at a mind capable of grasping concepts beyond the limitations of his era. He explored sacred geometry, delving into the mathematical principles believed to underlie all creation. Some even whisper of his involvement in esoteric societies, secret circles dedicated to preserving ancient wisdom. From the depths of space, far beyond our solar system, lies the Pleiades, a cluster of 7 stars that have captivated humanity for millennia. In cultures across the globe, the Pleiades are often associated with spiritual wisdom, cosmic knowledge, and benevolent guidance. Legends speak of Pleiadians, beings of light and advanced consciousness, who have been quietly observing and occasionally interacting with humanity throughout history. They are often described as ethereal, compassionate, and deeply concerned with the spiritual evolution of mankind. What if Leonardo da Vinci was contacted by these star beings? What if, through dreams, channeled messages, or even direct encounters, he was chosen as a conduit to transmit their wisdom to future generations? But the most compelling question is this: did Leonardo da Vinci deliberately embed an interstellar communication into his artwork, waiting to be uncovered? A message from the Pleiades carefully concealed within the brushstrokes of his most famous paintings. And if so, what could this message be? A warning about the future, a spiritual teaching, a call to action. Powerful institutions don't want you to know that his art holds coded secrets about our ancient cosmic connections, and that the answers could be right in front of you. To begin our quest to unravel this enigma, we will examine some of Da Vinci's most famous paintings, including The Last Supper, Mona Lisa, and Virgin of the Rocks. We will decode the hidden meanings, search for evidence of the Pleiadian influence, explore geometry, examine patterns, and search for possible astronomical alignments that Da Vinci might have encoded. As we delve deeper, we'll also discuss potential ties to secret societies and esoteric wisdom traditions that might have played a role in this cosmic puzzle, so that the truth may finally be revealed. The core of this is that Leonardo da Vinci's potential Pleiadian message is not merely a historical curiosity, but a living testament to a cosmic connection relevant to Earth's present turmoil and humanity's impending spiritual evolution. Did you know that Earth is currently experiencing unprecedented climate change, technological advancement, and a rapidly shifting collective consciousness? These are the very challenges that Leonardo's message, it is believed, was intended to address. And what if the message's suppression connects to current power structures seeking to control information, to hinder humanity's awakening, and continue to profit from Earth? Such control would mirror historical attempts to discredit or marginalize alternative knowledge sources. What if Da Vinci's message contains the keys to navigating these challenges, to accelerating humanity's spiritual growth, and to unlocking a new understanding of reality and our place in the cosmos? Now, let us examine Leonardo da Vinci's The Last Supper. Have you ever noticed the potential hidden figure next to Judas that deviates from traditional biblical depictions? Observe this figure closely. Its androgynous appearance is striking, its features possessing an ethereal quality, almost alien-like. Could this be a subtle indication of Pleiadian contact? The ethereal, androgynous appearance of this figure aligns with common descriptions of Pleiadians as beings of light and advanced consciousness. The placement of this figure within such a pivotal scene suggests a deliberate attempt to embed a hidden message within the artwork. Furthermore, the table arrangement and the disciples' reactions may be a coded representation of an event related to contact. The disciples' gestures and expressions, rather than being spontaneous, are precisely crafted, their arrangement meticulously planned to convey a symbolic message. The significance of this hidden figure deepens when viewed through the lens of esoteric interpretations of the Last Supper. Is it possible this figure represents a messenger, an intermediary from a higher realm, delivering crucial information or guidance to humanity? Now, it is important to acknowledge the potential for pareidolia and cognitive biases in interpreting this figure. Our minds are wired to recognize patterns, even where they may not exist, and our preconceived notions can influence our perceptions. However, by remaining open to alternative possibilities, by carefully examining the evidence, and by cross-referencing with other sources, we can mitigate the influence of these biases. Moreover, Da Vinci's potential connection with secret societies may have provided him with a deep understanding of hidden symbolism. The possibility of his involvement in Freemasonry, with their intricate use of symbolism and coded language, is noteworthy. Some researchers claim to have found Masonic symbols embedded within his paintings, hinting at a deeper layer of meaning accessible only to those initiated into the secrets of the order. If the Last Supper holds a potential hidden figure, then what other hidden messages might exist in Virgin of the Rocks? What secrets might be concealed within the painting's unusual geological setting and the peculiar hand gestures of the figures? Could these elements point to a specific location within the Pleiades star system? Are the hand gestures not merely artistic flourishes, but a coded message related to this location, a secret language waiting to be deciphered? We must now shift our focus from possible hidden figures to the geological formations themselves, for within their contours may lie the key to unlocking this interstellar mystery. Consider the geological anomalies in the background of Virgin of the Rocks. Note the unusual rock formations, the ethereal lighting, and the otherworldly atmosphere that permeates the scene. This is not a typical earthly landscape, but something far more evocative, something that hints at a different realm. Could this location represent a specific area within the Pleiades star system, a landscape imbued with cosmic significance? Some researchers propose that the setting of Virgin of the Rocks bears a striking resemblance to locations within the Pleiades, such as the Maya Nebula or Alcyone. The swirling clouds of gas and dust, the jagged rock formations, and the overall sense of otherworldly beauty echo the celestial landscapes described in Pleiadian cosmology. Furthermore, we must analyze the hand gestures of the figures within the painting. The hand gestures, so meticulously rendered, may not be random, but rather a coded message with specific meanings. Each finger, each angle, each subtle movement could represent a letter, a number, or a concept within a complex symbolic language. The connection between the geological setting and Pleiadian cosmology is not merely coincidental. Many Pleiadian creation myths associate their origins with specific star systems and planets, describing landscapes that mirror the geological anomalies depicted in Virgin of the Rocks. In these myths, certain locations within the Pleiades are considered sacred, imbued with spiritual energy, and serving as gateways to higher dimensions. By depicting these locations in his painting, Da Vinci may have been attempting to encode a message about the Pleiadian origins of humanity or the potential for spiritual ascension through connection with these celestial realms. Some even reference astronomical alignments and esoteric interpretations of the hand gestures, suggesting they correlate with specific star charts or diagrams. For example, some researchers claim that the angles formed by the figure's hands align with the positions of certain stars within the Pleiades constellation at a specific point in time, suggesting a deliberate attempt to encode astronomical information within the artwork. While some might argue that these interpretations are merely the result of artistic license, the overwhelming evidence suggests that Da Vinci's choice of elements was not random, but intentionally chosen to convey a deeper meaning. If the Last Supper holds a potential hidden figure and Virgin of the Rocks encodes geographical clues, then did Da Vinci also encode knowledge of human consciousness or a future event related to the Pleiades into the Mona Lisa? Is it possible that the subtle differences observed when the painting is mirrored contain coded information about future events, based on esoteric or Pleiadian timelines? This would represent a significant transition from possible extraterrestrial locations to a potentially deeper message about humanity itself, as well as transition from physical clues to esoteric. Could this message be related to Pleiadian prophecies or teachings about human evolution, a glimpse into the destiny that awaits us as we continue our journey through the cosmos? Examine the subtle differences in the Mona Lisa when the painting is mirrored. Note the changes in the background landscape, the slight alterations in her facial expression, and the minute adjustments in the positions of her hands. While these differences may appear insignificant at first glance, they may hold the key to unlocking a profound message about the future of humanity. Some researchers suggest that these differences are deliberate, containing coded information about future events, based on esoteric or Pleiadian timelines. The concept of timelines, predetermined pathways through spacetime, is central to many esoteric teachings and Pleiadian prophecies. By encoding these timelines into his artwork, Da Vinci may have been attempting to provide a roadmap for humanity's future, a guide to navigating the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. Take note of Da Vinci's mastery of sfumato, the blurring of lines and edges, which was used to hide additional details within the work. Within the context of human consciousness or future events, these subtle differences in the mirrored Mona Lisa hold profound meaning, potentially tied to Pleiadian prophecies or teachings about human evolution. The Pleiadians, often described as benevolent guides from the stars, are deeply concerned with the spiritual evolution of humanity, and it is believed they have shared prophecies about our future, including warnings about potential cataclysms, predictions of shifts in consciousness, and promises of a golden age to come. These interpretations connect to Da Vinci's anatomical work and his understanding of the human body as a microcosm of the universe. Da Vinci believed that the human body was a reflection of the cosmos, a microcosm containing all the elements and energies of the macrocosm. His anatomical studies, exemplified by works such as the Vitruvian Man, were not merely scientific investigations, but explorations of the divine proportions and hidden connections within the human form. Now, consider what these future events might entail: a shift in consciousness, a cataclysmic event, or contact with extraterrestrial civilizations. If each painting contains elements of contact, locations, and potential timelines, then what does this tell us about Da Vinci's larger message? Did Da Vinci intend to craft a cohesive narrative across his artwork, a secret history of humanity's connection to the cosmos? We have seen hidden figures in the Last Supper, astronomical references in Virgin of the Rocks, and coded timelines in Mona Lisa. These elements point to a message about humanity's connection to the Pleiades, its future destiny, and Da Vinci deliberately hid these symbols to be discovered at a specific time in human history. The information had to be locked behind a veil of secrecy. In summary, we have examined the hidden figures in The Last Supper, the astronomical references in Virgin of the Rocks, and the coded timelines in Mona Lisa. Each painting yields clues that, when pieced together, reveal a profound connection between humanity and the Pleiades. Taken together, these elements strongly suggest that Da Vinci was encoding a message from the Pleiades, deliberately hiding these symbols to be discovered at a specific time in human history. He was waiting for a time when humanity would be ready to receive this message, a time when we would possess the knowledge and technology to decipher its secrets. But the most profound implications of this message for humanity are yet to come, for this message could unlock humanity's potential and guide us towards a brighter future. Did you know Leonardo da Vinci's encoded message may act as a trigger, designed to awaken human consciousness at a predetermined time? This trigger, activated by specific astronomical events, could have been intended by the Pleiadians to prepare humanity for a critical evolutionary leap, designed to occur precisely when Earth needed it most. Da Vinci, it is believed, was not just an artist, but a beacon across time, a conscious participant in a cosmic plan. Now, let's examine this concept of a trigger mechanism in light of Pleiadian theories about cyclical timelines and humanity's spiritual growth. The Pleiadians often speak of time not as a linear progression, but as a series of cycles, each presenting unique opportunities for growth and transformation. These cycles, they say, are governed by celestial alignments and cosmic energies that ebb and flow like tides. Are these windows of opportunity moments when the veil between dimensions thins, when humanity is more receptive to higher frequencies and new information? So did Da Vinci, with his deep understanding of both art and science, integrate these celestial timetables into his art, creating a series of encoded messages that would be activated at specific points in Earth's timeline. What recurring symbols can be found in Da Vinci's paintings? A close examination of Da Vinci's works reveals a consistent use of several key symbols: spirals, stars, and specific geometric shapes like pentagons and hexagons. Take, for instance, the Mona Lisa. Have you ever truly observed the background? The swirling patterns of the landscape, the way the rivers and paths curve and wind, aren't these subtle representations of spirals, symbols of spiritual evolution and the continuous flow of energy? And in The Last Supper, consider the folds of the garments. Aren't star patterns subtly hidden within, a constant reminder of our celestial origins? How do these symbols connect to known Pleiadian symbols and their meanings? The spiral, in Pleiadian cosmology, represents the journey of the soul, the continuous expansion of consciousness, and the ever-revolving nature of reality. The stars, of course, symbolize their home constellation, a beacon of light and wisdom in the vast cosmic ocean. And the geometric shapes, the pentagons and hexagons, represent the underlying order of the universe, the sacred geometry that governs all of creation. Are these visual echoes of a cosmic language? When one compares Da Vinci's symbols with documented Pleiadian symbols, the similarities are striking. The visual language isn't simply aesthetic, but a deliberate encoding of deeper meaning. What is the significance of these recurring symbols? Could they be a potential visual language understood by those familiar with Pleiadian cosmology? It's believed that Da Vinci's symbols are not merely decorative elements, but rather carriers of specific energetic and informational value. Each symbol vibrates with its own unique frequency, resonating with certain aspects of human consciousness. Is it possible that the placement and frequency of these symbols in Da Vinci's paintings amplify their intended effect, acting as a form of visual encoding, designed to activate knowledge or memory within the viewer, particularly during periods of heightened spiritual receptivity. Some believe that they act as keys to unlock dormant aspects of our DNA, triggering latent abilities and awakening us to our true potential. If Da Vinci used recurring symbols to encode Pleiadian concepts, did he also use sacred geometry as a means to communicate advanced scientific or technological information? This is a question that takes us deeper into Da Vinci's mind and into the mind of the Pleiadians. Perhaps Da Vinci understood the universe as a geometric construct, a symphony of shapes and proportions, and he encoded that knowledge in his art, knowledge possibly passed on by the Pleiadians. But it's crucial to remember that sacred geometry has its roots and links in earlier Middle Eastern cultures, therefore this knowledge may be of shared origin. Present Da Vinci's Vitruvian Man, as an example. The Vitruvian Man is a powerful testament to Da Vinci's understanding and use of sacred geometry and perfect proportions. Is it just a drawing of a man in a square and a circle? The golden ratio, the Fibonacci sequence, and other geometric principles are all present in this artwork, demonstrating Da Vinci's mastery of mathematical relationships. But could these geometric principles also be connected to Pleiadian concepts of cosmic order and technological blueprints? How do these geometric principles connect to Pleiadian teachings about the interconnectedness of all things through mathematical relationships? The Pleiadians often speak of the universe as a holographic projection, where every part is connected to the whole through mathematical ratios and geometric patterns. They believe that these patterns are not merely abstract concepts, but rather the fundamental building blocks of reality, the underlying structure upon which all things are built. Are there examples of how similar geometric principles are found in Pleiadian structures or technologies, as described in contactee accounts or channeled materials? Some contactees have described Pleiadian spacecraft and structures that exhibit the same geometric ratios and proportions as those found in Da Vinci's Vitruvian Man, suggesting a shared understanding of the underlying order of the cosmos. Is it possible that sacred geometry may not only represent cosmic order, but also function as a language for advanced technology? Perhaps Da Vinci may have been encoding technological schematics or scientific principles within his art, received directly from the Pleiadians. This idea aligns with the concept of cymatics, the study of how geometric patterns emerge from sound frequencies. The Pleiadians, some believe, communicate and transmit data through frequency-based geometry, using sound and light to create complex patterns that encode vast amounts of information. What if Da Vinci understood this principle and used his art to translate these geometric frequencies into visual form, concealing these advanced concepts within the layers of his paintings? Da Vinci even concealed these concepts further with his usage of sfumato, thus hiding knowledge of sacred geometry for future generations. Besides encoding knowledge of geometry, did Da Vinci also encode astronomical alignments into his paintings that serve as time markers for the activation of the Pleiadian message? The idea that Da Vinci's message is not static, but tied to specific celestial events, is something to consider. Could it be that specific paintings correlate to rare astronomical conjunctions or celestial events, and that these alignments serve as a key to unlocking the deeper meaning of the artwork? Were specific astronomical alignments coinciding with dates or events related to Da Vinci's life or the creation of his paintings? For example, some researchers have pointed to the alignment of Jupiter and Venus during the painting of The Last Supper, suggesting that this celestial event held particular significance for Da Vinci and may have influenced his artistic choices. How do these alignments connect to Pleiadian beliefs about the influence of celestial events on human consciousness and planetary evolution? The Pleiadians believe that celestial events act as triggers, activating certain potentials within the human psyche and influencing the course of planetary evolution. What if they use these alignments as signals or opportunities to communicate with or influence humanity? What significance could these astronomical alignments have? They could be time markers for the activation of Da Vinci's encoded message. If the Pleiadians timed the release of this information to coincide with periods of heightened spiritual potential on Earth, it could explain the astronomical alignments. What if Da Vinci consciously or unconsciously integrated these alignments into his artwork, acting as a conduit for Pleiadian influence? Did his genius get amplified or guided by extraterrestrial contact? What might this activation entail? A shift in consciousness, a technological breakthrough, or increased contact with extraterrestrial civilizations? If Da Vinci was sending a message about contact, did he also seek to correct misinterpreted passages from religious texts, such as the Bible, to assist in understanding who created humankind? Perhaps Da Vinci's message relates to reinterpretations of historical events and how the powers that be sought to oppress the truth. What if Da Vinci's knowledge came at a price, and his life may have been threatened because of it? Paintings such as John the Baptist could contain hidden messages about the true nature of the universe and reinterpretations of stories told in the Bible. What if Da Vinci's work contains hidden messages about the true nature of the universe and reinterpretations of stories told in the Bible? How do these paintings relate to his esoteric studies, of which many were in secret? Da Vinci's notebooks and journals indicate that he was engaged in a wide range of esoteric studies, including alchemy, astrology, and hermeticism. These studies may have provided him with a deeper understanding of the hidden meanings within religious texts, allowing him to create a more nuanced and accurate portrayal of biblical figures and events. What threat might Da Vinci have been under? It is believed that figures of power did not want the common person to understand the true nature of mankind, and instead wished to control and manipulate. Was Da Vinci considered a threat to the established order, someone who possessed knowledge that could empower the masses and undermine the authority of the ruling elite? If Da Vinci included elements of contact, sacred geometry, timelines, and biblical correction, then what's the main message? Is it a message of hope, a warning about the future, or a call to action? The answer may be more complex than we initially imagined. In summary, we have explored the recurring symbols, sacred geometry, astronomical alignments, and suppressed knowledge elements found within Da Vinci's paintings. The spiral, the star, the geometry, the alignments, and the biblical interpretations found across Da Vinci's art all tell a tale. When combined, these elements suggest that Da Vinci was encoding a Pleiadian message about human potential and spiritual evolution. But Da Vinci sought to inspire and guide humanity at a specific point in its evolutionary journey, with the aid of the Pleiadians. Does this message offer a blueprint for unlocking human potential, accelerating spiritual growth, and establishing contact with benevolent extraterrestrial civilizations? If so, then Da Vinci's art is more than just beautiful paintings. It's a treasure map for humanity's next chapter. But does this information connect to the modern-day suppression of Pleiadian messages? Did you know that Da Vinci's self-portrait may be far more than just a depiction of himself? What if it is a carefully constructed visual key, designed to subtly reveal his non-human origins and purpose as a starseed or Pleiadian emissary? His contemporaries would likely not have been able to comprehend such a message. This unveils a deeper truth, but let's get specific. Could Da Vinci's self-portrait contain symbolic markers and subtle alterations designed to be recognized by those with similar origins, or by future generations ready to receive the message? Perhaps Da Vinci intentionally veiled his true nature to protect himself and the Pleiadian message from those in power, understanding that his contemporaries would likely not have been able to fully grasp the magnitude of his revelation. Now, let's consider the subtle anomalies and artistic choices in Da Vinci's self-portrait. Do they deviate from conventional Renaissance portraiture? Could they potentially suggest a non-human or hybrid appearance? The elongated skull, the unusual shape of the eyes, the ethereal glow of the skin, and the subtle asymmetry of the face are potential indicators of non-human DNA. According to contactee accounts and channeled materials, Pleiadians often possess fair skin, light hair, and piercing eyes. Does this match up with the self-portrait? The gaze of Da Vinci in the portrait appears to pierce through the viewer with a subtle intensity. But what do these subtle anomalies and artistic choices mean in the context of Pleiadian contact and Da Vinci's self-awareness of his origins and his mission? It's possible Da Vinci may have been consciously encoding his true nature into the self-portrait, leaving clues for those who are awakened to recognize him. Perhaps Da Vinci used sfumato and other techniques to subtly alter his appearance in the portrait, making it difficult to discern the non-human features without a trained eye. Could it be that he wanted to hide the message in plain sight for future generations, thus ensuring that his message would transcend time? It is important to remember that ancient Egyptian art has similar techniques. Pharaohs would elongate their skulls to be more in line with the gods. If Da Vinci was indeed a hybrid being, did his unparalleled understanding of human anatomy extend to a deeper knowledge of human Pleiadian hybrid biology, encoded within his anatomical studies? This question takes us deeper into Da Vinci's mind. Let's transition from analyzing Da Vinci's self-portrait to exploring his anatomical drawings as a potential source of hidden knowledge about human Pleiadian hybridity, foreshadowing the idea that Da Vinci's anatomical drawings may contain subtle deviations or unique insights that point to a deeper understanding of the human form beyond conventional medical knowledge. Now, let's consider examples of Da Vinci's anatomical drawings. What if they show unique or unusual features, particularly in the skeletal structure, musculature, or nervous system, potentially reflecting subtle hybrid traits? Perhaps Da Vinci's drawings deviate from standard anatomical depictions, focusing on aspects that might align with Pleiadian physiology. A drawing in particular shows the spinal cord that seems to be more elongated than it is in typical humans. When we compare Da Vinci's anatomical drawings to descriptions of Pleiadian physiology from contactee accounts and channeled materials, do we find overlapping characteristics or unusual features? Some descriptions speak of Pleiadian bone density, muscle structure, or neurological pathways. Given the chance that these unusual anatomical features were intentionally depicted by Da Vinci, how could they connect to Pleiadian genetics or physiology, suggesting a hybrid origin? Speculating on the evolutionary advantages or unique capabilities that these hybrid traits might confer, such as enhanced psychic abilities or resistance to disease. What if Da Vinci's anatomical studies were not solely for scientific purposes, but also served as a way to document and understand his own unique biology and the nature of human Pleiadian hybridity? Perhaps he sought to understand himself through scientific observation. In the mind of Da Vinci, perhaps he even knew about dormant DNA or parts of the body that were not active in typical humans. This would present an idea to the powers that be. If Da Vinci possessed such profound knowledge of human Pleiadian hybridity, why was this knowledge not widely disseminated, and how might it have been suppressed or preserved through esoteric societies? This takes us to the theme of suppressed knowledge and the role of esoteric societies in preserving alternative or forbidden knowledge. What if Da Vinci's knowledge of hybridity and Pleiadian contact was deemed dangerous or heretical by powerful institutions, leading to its suppression? Let's consider the evidence of Da Vinci's potential involvement in esoteric societies like the Freemasons, Rosicrucians, or other mystery schools? What historical connections, symbolic clues in his artwork, and documented associations with known members of these societies can be found? Highlight any evidence of Da Vinci's membership or affiliation with these groups, even if circumstantial. What known beliefs and practices of these esoteric societies could be related? They emphasize on hidden knowledge, symbolism, initiation rituals, and the pursuit of spiritual enlightenment. Mention the Masonic use of sacred geometry, the Rosicrucian interest in alchemy and Hermeticism, and the mystery school's focus on ancient wisdom traditions. What other prominent figures were part of similar societies at the time, and what were their beliefs in regards to human potential? Considering these esoteric societies, how might they have preserved and transmitted knowledge of human Pleiadian interaction, hybridity, and Da Vinci's role in this hidden history, passing it down through secret teachings, coded symbolism, and initiation rituals? What if the societies served as a sanctuary for knowledge that was deemed dangerous or heretical by mainstream institutions? Speculate on the specific ways in which Da Vinci might have used his art to encode esoteric knowledge for future generations, embedding symbolic clues and hidden messages within his masterpieces. Perhaps certain symbols or artistic choices served as keys to unlocking this hidden knowledge for those who are initiated or spiritually attuned. How do Freemasons connect symbolism to the story of Hiram Abiff, and how does it parallel the narrative of an artist who had his life threatened? If Da Vinci's self-portrait reveals his non-human origins, his anatomical studies hint at hybrid biology, and his esoteric connection suggests the existence of suppressed knowledge, what overarching message was he trying to convey about humanity's relationship with the Pleiades? Let's transition from specific pieces of evidence to a synthesis of the overall message. In summary, Da Vinci's self-portrait acts as a key to his true identity. His anatomical studies are a reflection of hybrid biology, and his esoteric connections are a link to suppressed knowledge. Emphasize how these seemingly disparate elements converge to suggest Da Vinci's unique origins and his purpose to share this truth. When combined, these elements suggest Da Vinci was encoding a Pleiadian message about human potential and spiritual evolution. But Da Vinci sought to inspire and guide humanity at a specific point in its evolutionary journey with the aid of the Pleiadians. Da Vinci's art is a treasure map for humanity's next chapter. But what we'll discover next about the suppression of this information is even more shocking. Did you know that Leonardo da Vinci's knowledge of the Pleiadian message may have been viewed as a direct threat to powerful institutions and governments? What if his message, designed to enlighten individuals and question power structures, was deliberately suppressed to maintain control? This reveals a deeper truth about the forces that seek to manipulate human consciousness. But let's get specific. Could the suppression of Da Vinci's knowledge be an ongoing effort, not just a historical event? Perhaps it is a deliberate campaign to prevent humanity from awakening to its full potential, a suppression that remains relevant even in our modern world. This insidious form of control seeks to keep humanity in the dark about its true origins and its connection to the cosmos. Now, let's delve into historical examples of suppressed UFO and extraterrestrial information by governments and institutions. What documented cases of government cover-ups, disinformation campaigns, and the silencing of whistleblowers exist? The Roswell incident, with its conflicting accounts and alleged debris retrieval, stands as a cornerstone of suppressed knowledge. The Majestic 12 documents, whether authentic or not, fueled speculation about a secret government organization dedicated to managing extraterrestrial contact. And the Rendlesham Forest incident, often dubbed Britain's Roswell, involved military personnel witnessing unexplained aerial phenomena, only to have their accounts downplayed or dismissed. mentioning specific government organizations that have been accused of withholding or manipulating UFO and extraterrestrial information, we must consider the CIA, with its history of covert operations and information control. The NSA, with its vast surveillance capabilities, could easily monitor and suppress information related to extraterrestrial contact. And military intelligence agencies, responsible for national security, might prioritize secrecy over transparency when dealing with potentially disruptive information. These are the institutions that have the power to alter public perception. Referencing the Brookings Report, prepared for NASA in 1960, explores the potential societal impact of extraterrestrial contact, highlighting the potential for cultural disruption, psychological shock, and the collapse of established belief systems. As stated within the report, it is proposed that studies be conducted to determine the emotional and intellectual understanding and reactions of the public and the elites. With events such as these in the public's eye, this leads us to wonder, is this still happening to this day? Analyzing why governments and institutions might want to suppress UFO and extraterrestrial information, we must consider the potential for societal disruption. What if the revelation of extraterrestrial contact were to trigger widespread panic, social unrest, and the collapse of economic systems? Discussing the potential for economic instability, the sudden availability of advanced extraterrestrial technology could render existing industries obsolete and destabilize global markets. Moreover, exploring the erosion of religious and political authority, the existence of extraterrestrial life could challenge the fundamental tenets of many religions and undermine the legitimacy of political institutions. Perhaps some institutions are actively controlled by extraterrestrial forces seeking to manipulate humanity, subtly guiding events to maintain their control and influence. Connecting this suppression to the broader theme of control and manipulation of human consciousness throughout history, what historical examples of propaganda, censorship, and the control of information exist? The deliberate distortion of historical events to serve political agendas, the suppression of dissenting voices through censorship and intimidation, and the manipulation of public opinion through propaganda are all examples of how power structures have sought to control human consciousness. What if false flag, alien invasion scenarios might be used as a means of controlling the population, uniting humanity against a common enemy, and justifying increased government control? This would be an exceptional move. If powerful forces are actively suppressing knowledge of extraterrestrial contact, how could Da Vinci circumvent this and encode his message in plain sight? Suggesting that Da Vinci used subversive techniques to bypass the censors, he may have possessed an understanding of the human subconscious and its ability to perceive information that the conscious mind might miss. What if this is how he encoded the information, using subtle cues and hidden symbols that bypass conscious censorship and tap into the deeper layers of the psyche? Let's now highlight Da Vinci as a master of illusion, capable of creating works of art that deceive the eye and challenge perception. Presenting examples of Da Vinci's use of mirroring, hidden images, and optical illusions in his paintings, how could these techniques bypass conscious censorship? Analyzing the mirrored images in the Mona Lisa and the Last Supper, what hidden figures or symbols become visible only through reflection? The Mona Lisa, when mirrored, reveals a series of hidden figures and landscapes, adding layers of meaning to the already enigmatic painting. The Last Supper, when mirrored, presents distorted figures and symbolic arrangements, suggesting a hidden narrative beneath the surface. Discussing the use of pareidolia, the psychological phenomenon of seeing patterns in random stimuli, how might Da Vinci have exploited this to encode his message? Da Vinci may have intentionally incorporated ambiguous shapes and forms into his paintings, allowing viewers to project their own interpretations and subconsciously perceive the intended message. Referencing research on subliminal messaging and its effects on behavior, it has been shown that subtle cues and messages can influence thoughts, emotions, and actions without conscious awareness. Discussing ancient Egyptian techniques on creating sacred spaces, such as the use of specific geometric proportions, carefully chosen materials, and symbolic imagery. These techniques aim to create environments that resonated with the divine and facilitated spiritual experiences. Analyzing how these techniques work to bypass conscious censorship and tap into the subconscious mind, it can be suggested that the subconscious mind is more receptive to symbolic language and emotional cues than the conscious mind. Da Vinci's hidden techniques may have bypassed the conscious mind, tapping into the subconscious through symbolism and emotion. Perhaps his paintings could be used as a form of visual meditation, allowing viewers to access deeper states of consciousness and unlock suppressed knowledge within their own psyche. It is possible that the human brain may be rewired when they witness Da Vinci's art, activating dormant areas and expanding awareness. If Da Vinci's message is designed to unlock human potential, how does it tie into Pleiadian prophecies about humanity's future and the next stage in its spiritual evolution? This suggests that Da Vinci's art is a key to understanding the Pleiadian plan for humanity. Considering Pleiadian prophecies about a great awakening, a shift in consciousness, and the eventual contact between humanity and extraterrestrial civilizations, these prophecies may be coming to fruition in the near future. What is the significance of this event? Describing Pleiadian prophecies about humanity's awakening, its connection to the cosmos, and its role in the larger galactic community, channeled materials, contactee accounts, and ancient texts discuss Pleiadian prophecies. These highlight key themes such as spiritual growth, planetary healing, and the evolution of consciousness. What is the Pleiadian concept of windows of opportunity for spiritual advancement? There is the potential for humanity to ascend to a higher level of consciousness through these windows. Suggesting these windows may be tied to specific astronomical alignments or energetic shifts on Earth. One must mention Barbara Marciniak and her channeled material regarding the Pleiadians, which provides insights into their teachings, philosophies, and plans for humanity. Analyzing how Da Vinci's message ties into these prophecies, what specific steps can humanity take to accelerate its spiritual evolution and fulfill its cosmic destiny? Suggesting that Da Vinci's art can serve as a catalyst for individual and collective transformation, it is also important to reclaim suppressed knowledge, connect with one's inner wisdom, and cultivate compassion and empathy. These qualities are essential for navigating the challenges ahead and creating a more positive future. What future does humanity hold if it embraces Da Vinci's message and fulfills its Pleiadian destiny? Humanity could become a beacon of light and a force for good in the galaxy. How can people start the Great Awakening? In summary, humanity must learn of the suppression of knowledge, Da Vinci's hidden techniques, and Pleiadian prophecies. With government cover-ups, the power of the subconscious mind, and the potential for a great awakening, the key to unlocking human potential lies within Da Vinci's art and the wisdom of the Pleiades. What if humanity has the power to create a brighter future? By understanding Da Vinci's message, individuals can take control of their destiny and contribute to the collective evolution of humanity. But we're just scratching the surface. What we'll uncover next about specific hidden symbols in Da Vinci's paintings will be absolutely mind-blowing. As we reach the culmination of our exploration into the enigmatic world of Leonardo da Vinci, we've traversed a landscape of hidden symbols, suppressed knowledge, and potential extraterrestrial contact. Did Leonardo da Vinci encode a Pleiadian message in his paintings? And if so, what does it mean for humanity? After exploring the depths of Da Vinci's art, could we be close to deciphering the secrets of the cosmos? To recap our journey, we've uncovered hidden figures in the Last Supper, astronomical data embedded within Virgin of the Rocks, and subtle anomalies within Da Vinci's self-portrait. We've seen how Da Vinci may have used mirrored images, subliminal messaging, and optical illusions to hide his message from plain sight, bypassing conscious censorship and tapping into the subconscious mind. We've reiterated the significance of recurring symbols such as spirals, stars, and geometric shapes. We've reinterpreted passages of the Bible through the lens of the Pleiadians and discovered the power of art. Now, what are the potential benefits of understanding Da Vinci's message? Individuals can take control of their destiny, contribute to the collective evolution of humanity, and understand ancient texts with greater clarity, all by unlocking the secrets held within his art. But now, a final interpretation. Perhaps Leonardo da Vinci's message is not merely a historical artifact, but a timeless guide for humanity's spiritual evolution and its relationship with the cosmos. Da Vinci's paintings may be a treasure map, meticulously crafted to be deciphered at a specific moment in human history, a moment where humanity stands at a crossroads, ready to embrace its cosmic destiny. What if his art is a map designed to guide us through challenges? Now, consider this twist. What if the Pleiadians are not advanced benevolent beings, but refugees from a dying star system, desperately seeking to guide us away from the same pitfalls that led to their demise? Perhaps their message is a warning, etched in paint and symbol, urging us to choose a different path, to avoid repeating the mistakes of a civilization long lost. This would suggest that the fate of humanity is determined on how it handles power. If the Pleiadians' message challenges the established beliefs of religion and government, what does this say about free will and destiny? Does humanity have the agency to choose its own path, or are we merely puppets in a cosmic game, guided by forces beyond our comprehension? The answer may lie in reclaiming suppressed knowledge, connecting with our inner wisdom, and cultivating compassion and empathy. The Pleiadians may have set humanity up to reach for the stars. Da Vinci's potential Pleiadian message connects to larger themes of human potential, spiritual awakening, and the search for meaning in the cosmos. His message speaks to the interconnectedness of humanity and its place in the universe, echoing the myths and legends of countless cultures, from ancient Sumer to modern-day contactee accounts. Da Vinci's message serves as a reminder of the cyclical nature of power, the dangers of unchecked ambition, and the importance of wisdom and compassion. Perhaps the suppression of his message highlights the struggle between those who seek to control and those who seek to liberate. The future of humanity may depend on unlocking dormant DNA, connecting with inner wisdom, and cultivating compassion and empathy. Reclaiming suppressed knowledge, connecting with one's inner wisdom, and cultivating compassion are essential for navigating the challenges ahead. The moral implication here is that understanding Da Vinci's message may give humanity more power, but will we be good or evil with it? But the great mysteries of Da Vinci still instill fear and wonder. Whether myth or reality, this stirs a sense of wonder, reminding us of the vast unknowns that still await discovery and the boundless potential of the cosmos. Despite the difficulties and uncertainties that lie ahead, the resilience of the human spirit and the enduring human capacity for knowledge demonstrates the potential for positive change and a brighter future. As we conclude this exploration of Da Vinci, I find myself filled with both humility and hope, recognizing the profound interconnectedness of our past, present, and future. May this give pause and reflection and encourage you to make changes. Now, it's time for you to continue the exploration. Research further on your own and see what answers can be found. This may give pause and reflection and encourage you to make changes. If you enjoyed this episode, Please show your support by liking, sharing, and subscribing to Astral Legends for more content on ancient mysteries and legends. As Leonardo da Vinci's work has inspired so many over the years to seek out hidden knowledge, may the eternal light forever guide your path.